It is dawn in Manila's harbor, but no one is sleeping. News reporters shout headlines across every channel. Philippines unveils monster warship. The world's eyes are glued to the live feed. The camera shakes as a deep horn blasts, echoing over the water. There, rising above the city's skyline, is the Philippines' newest and largest warship. Crowds line the docks, waving flags and snapping photos. Some people are crying with pride. The gigantic vessel glides into view, dwarfing everything around it. News tickers flash reports in a dozen languages, all saying the same thing. A new era has begun for the Philippine Navy. As the sun rises, fighter jets fly overhead in a salute. The president stands at the prow, declaring the warship a symbol of hope and strength. Around the world, naval experts scramble to analyze the implications. The monster warship has arrived, and nothing will be the same. The new Philippine warship is like nothing the country has ever built. It stretches nearly 250 meters, longer than 2 football fields end to end. Its hull towers above the water, painted in sleek navy blue and silver. On deck, missile launchers and radar arrays gleam in the morning light. This ship is armed to the teeth. It sports vertical launch systems for anti-air and anti-ship missiles. There are advanced torpedo tubes and a powerful railgun, capable of hitting distant threats with lightning speed. Its close-in weapon systems, bristling with sensors, can shoot down incoming missiles before they hit. But it's not just about firepower. The warship's brains are just as impressive as its brawn. It has a cutting-edge combat information center, powered by artificial intelligence. The crew uses touchscreens to command drones, submarines, and even cyber defenses. It is a floating fortress and a high-tech nerve center. Every part of the Leviathan, as sailors call it, is built for today's complex sea battles. From stealth hull shapes to electric propulsion, this is naval innovation at its best. The Philippines now owns one of the most advanced warships in Asia. Why did the Philippines decide to build such a massive warship? The answer is complex. In recent years, the South China Sea has become a tense neighborhood. Other countries have built bigger fleets and claimed more territory. The Philippines needed a way to protect its islands and fishing grounds. National pride also played a big part. For decades, the Philippine Navy was seen as small and outdated. This project was a chance to show the world and the Filipino people that they could lead in technology and defense. The warship is both a shield and a powerful symbol of independence. Innovation was the third driving force. Filipino engineers and shipbuilders wanted to prove themselves. They reached out to partners in Japan, South Korea, and the United States for advice. Together, they created a ship that blends the best global technology with local ingenuity. Building the monster warship was about more than just hardware. It was about changing how the Philippines sees itself and how others see it. This ship is a promise. The country will stand tall on the world stage. The ship's journey began in a massive steelworks on the shores of Subic Bay. Engineers pored over blueprints for months, plotting every bolt and wire. Welding torches sent showers of sparks flying as workers joined together huge steel plates. The hull took shape slowly, piece by piece, under the watchful gaze of master builders. Inside the shipyard, the atmosphere was electric. Teams raced to install engines, computers, and miles of cabling. Every system was checked and rechecked. There were setbacks, late deliveries, storms, and even a fire in the electronics bay. But the workers refused to give up. As the months passed, the warship grew into a floating city. Cafeterias fed hundreds of workers around the clock. Technicians tested sonar arrays and missile launchers. In the final days, painters added the Navy's crest to the bow. The ship was finally ready for launch, a moment years in the making. The launch ceremony was emotional. Workers, who had spent years on the project, wept as the warship slid into the water for the first time. Their sweat and determination were now part of the most powerful ship the Philippines had ever built. The first time the Leviathan set sail, it was surrounded by smaller escort ships. The crew, handpicked from the best sailors and officers, moved with crisp precision. Training began immediately. Recruits learned to operate every weapon, radar, and sensor. In the Combat Information Center, screens glowed with simulated threats and alerts. At sea, the warship was put through its paces. The crew drilled for missile attacks, fires, and even cyber intrusions. On the flight deck, helicopters landed and took off, delivering supplies and carrying out search and rescue missions. Drones zipped overhead, scanning for enemy submarines. The ship's first live fire test was a success. Its missiles hit distant targets with pinpoint accuracy. The railgun fired a round that punched through a mock enemy ship. Every sailor knew they were part of something historic. Confidence grew with each mission. As the Leviathan returned to port, crowds cheered from the shoreline. Even seasoned admirals were impressed by how quickly the crew had mastered such a complex vessel. This was a warship ready for anything. Across the Philippines, the new warship was front-page news. Students wrote essays about joining the Navy. Veterans wore their uniforms with pride, smiling at the sight of the Leviathan on TV. Social media buzzed with photos and memes celebrating the ship's size and strength. Military experts from around the world weighed in. Some praised the ship's high-tech features and bold design. Others wondered if the Philippines could maintain such a complex vessel. A few warned that it might provoke tension with neighboring countries, especially those with their own claims in the South China Sea. Yet, most agreed on one thing: the warship was a game-changer. Filipino leaders told reporters that the ship would protect the nation's interests and build new partnerships. Ordinary people felt safer, knowing the Navy had a powerful new tool. The warship became a symbol of hope and unity. Not everyone was happy, of course. Critics worried about the cost and the risk of accidents. But for many, the pride of seeing the Philippine flag flying over the world's newest monster warship was worth every peso. The Leviathan's arrival made waves far beyond the Philippines. Regional navies in Asia watched with a mix of respect and caution. China, Vietnam, and other countries quietly reviewed their own shipbuilding plans. Suddenly, the balance of power in the South China Sea had shifted. Allies, including the United States and Japan, sent congratulatory messages. They offered to train crews and share more advanced technology. Joint exercises were planned to help the Philippines integrate its new flagship into regional defense networks. Some experts said the monster warship could deter aggression. Others warned it might trigger an arms race. Either way, the message was clear: the Philippines was no longer a minor player. With a single ship, it had changed the rules of the game. Naval power is about more than numbers. It's about presence, technology, and resolve. The Leviathan checked all those boxes, forcing every nation in the region to rethink its strategies. With the Leviathan in service, the Philippine Navy is already planning what's next. There are talks of building more warships, each one smarter and more powerful. New shipyards are hiring thousands of workers. Young engineers dream of designing the next generation of naval technology. The Leviathan is also changing how soldiers train. Virtual reality simulators and AI-powered war games are now standard. Crews learn to fight not just enemies, but cyber attacks and drone swarms. The Navy is recruiting more specialists in electronics and artificial intelligence. The world is watching. Other countries are studying the Philippine program, eager to learn its secrets. Defense companies see the Philippines as a future leader in naval innovation. Even rivals admit the game has changed. Still, challenges remain. Keeping the Leviathan running will be expensive. Training enough skilled sailors and engineers will take time. But the momentum is real and unstoppable. The launch of the monster warship marks a turning point for the Philippines. What started as a bold dream has become a reality. The Leviathan is more than just steel and weapons. It is a statement of ambition, capability, and national pride. Around the world, navies are taking notice. Some will try to build bigger ships. Others will look for new partnerships or smarter technology. The balance of power is shifting, and the Philippines is steering the course. What does this mean for the future of naval warfare? Battles will be fought not just with ships and missiles, but with data, AI, and alliances. For the Philippines, the Leviathan is only the beginning. It stands as proof that even smaller nations can change the world, with courage, innovation, and unity. The sea is vast, and the future is uncertain. But one thing is clear: the Philippines is ready to lead.